Hello friends and colleagues, my name is Victoria Camarillo and today I will be presenting a research proposal investigating the possible way interactions in father-daughter relationships influence later interactions in romantic relationships. Background about myself. Growing up as a child, I had a different experience than most people had with their father. Since before I was born, my father has been enlisted in the U.S. Army. And because of that, I did not see much of my father during my childhood. In fact, the most amount of time I've ever spent with him has been 2 weeks. The reason for this is not only because of his enlistment, but also due to my parents' divorce, which occurred when I was only 9 years old. Since we've never spent much time together, our relationship has been little to no interaction, and so when we do get together, it feels a little odd. We have not had many intimate conversations, and oftentimes I have found myself looking for affirmation elsewhere. Since I was a young teenager, I have found father-daughter relationships interesting, and so I'm curious to know how communication, like self-disclosure, has an effect on daughters both now and in their future relationships. First relationships we are exposed to as children. The way we interact with family members sets the stage for how we interact with friends and/or peers. The most important familial relationship we maintain is the one with our parents. For our purposes, a set of parents consists of both a mother and a father, both present and raising the child together. As children begin to grow, they engage in multiple experiences with their parents, such as playing games or reading stories. Children also experience the not-so-fun things, such as punishments and disappointments. And all these experiences are internalized by the child and carried over into their adult relationships. This is not only true for an individual's childhood, but is especially true as they enter into adolescence. A nurturing parental approach to parenting brings about greater warmth and support during not only this time of adolescence, but in their interactions with romantic partners as well. Past studies have indicated that adolescents create what they call working models, or mental representations based off of parent-adolescent relationships. Those models are believed to be generalized and apply to future romantic relationships. One way adolescents create these models is through the way they communicate with their mother and father. Parent-adolescent relationships are sometimes different depending on the amount of interaction between the parent and child. Those interactions may become different due to adolescents beginning to embrace their own individuality. As adolescents start to embrace this individuality, self-disclosure may decrease due to the need to no longer allow their parents to know everything that is going on in their lives. Adolescents do this by establishing boundaries and maintaining control over the amount of information they consider to be personal. Parents can help maintain a supportive climate by allowing privacy and granting adolescents the right to make their own decisions. All in all, both parents and adolescents are able to cohabitually decrease the intensity of communication in order to meet the adolescent's growing need for autonomy and independence. During this time of decreased disclosure, young girls and boys interact with parents in differing degrees. Girls, for instance, experience a better quality relationship with their parents as they rely on them to continue to be a source of support and guidance, more than boys do. This also suggests that girls have a more frequent open dialogue with their parents. However, daughters have been found to receive more positive treatment from their fathers, and thus have higher relational satisfaction with their fathers. Relationship satisfaction was also found to be through the analysis of 3 factors: the amount of time spent together, listening skills, and sympathy skills. These high satisfaction levels were also found to come from both father and daughter having the same communication motives such as pleasure and affection. And interestingly enough, pleasure and affection are 2 common motives found also in romantic relationships. About father-daughter relationships and self-disclosure within these relationships, the question now becomes, how does self-disclosure between fathers and daughters influence levels of intimacy between fathers and daughters? And if our parent-adolescent relationships influence our future romantic relationships, then how do these levels of intimacy between fathers and daughters shape the daughter's future interactions with romantic partners. We first must decide who our target sample is. For this research, in particular, the appropriate participants would be women between the ages of 24 to 29 years old. They must be involved in a romantic relationship. In this case, a romantic relationship is considered as being a serious committed dating relationship, engaged, or married. Fathers must also have been present throughout the woman's childhood and adolescence. And due to the nature of families today, when we're conducting this research, a father may be biological or a quote-unquote surrogate, in that they may be a male individual who stepped into the fatherly role and meets the criteria. Data is a survey or questionnaire, and due to the particular criteria for participants, the survey should be conducted only after interviewing women and ensuring that they meet the criteria. Surveys should also be conducted in a private facility and one by one so as to ensure anonymity. The data can be collected by asking questions about self-disclosure with their fathers at different ages and how they feel about the amount of attention received by their fathers at that age. Another set of questions to ask can be aimed to investigate the motivations for engaging in self-disclosure with their father. For identifying relationship satisfaction with romantic partners, a question similar to that of the one given about their father would work to collect the data. To compare the two sets of data, we would have to look especially at motivations for entering into the romantic relationship and relationship satisfaction with their father growing up. The hope is that we would find either a positive or negative correlation between the two measures. This correlation can be found by entering numerical data into a computer data system such as SPSS. The numerical data can be found by converting the categorical information by assigning each category a numerical value. In this study, we would be able to gain a better understanding of how familial relationships are influential in an adolescent's development. We would also see the importance of a parent-child self-disclosure in maintaining a parent-child relationship. The study can also act as a guiding point to help parents better understand how to communicate with their child or adolescent. The study would also provide a gateway to understanding the relational motivations for why women enter into romantic relationships and how their interactions with their father in the past have helped shape these motivations. Relationships are complex and they're ever-changing, and so it is important we keep researching and understanding how communication such as self-disclosure influences our relationships both now and in the future. This would allow us to further benefit and applying these findings to our own relationships. Fathers specifically can learn how to engage with their daughters and be a good influence of how to interact with the opposite sex. Daughters can also benefit by understanding themselves better and learn more about who they are and why we make the decisions we do. All in all, I want to thank you for your time and hope you will consider my research proposal. Thank you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.